The town of Hollowbrook was quiet, far too quiet, even for a place so small. Nestled deep within a valley and bordered by thick woods, it had always been a place of isolation. The people, hard-working and reserved, took comfort in the simple rhythms of life, content to go about their daily tasks with little concern for the outside world. But that changed the morning the earth trembled. It began with whispers, a subtle shift in the ground, a low hum beneath the streets. At first, the townsfolk dismissed it as nothing more than an unusual earthquake. But as the tremors grew stronger, their concern shifted into something darker, something primal. The shaking was accompanied by a sickening noise, a sound like the groan of a massive creature deep beneath the earth. The old man who lived in the valley's farthest edge, old Samuel Creek, was the first to go missing. No one thought much of it at first. He was old, and had been strange for as long as anyone could remember. But when his house was found abandoned, a trail of muddy footprints leading from the door into the dense woods, suspicion began to brew. The next day, more tremors came, worse than before. A low, guttural roar rattled the town, shaking homes and cracking the foundation of the church. It wasn't an animal sound, but something deeper, something ancient. That evening, a few of the more superstitious folk gathered at the tavern, mumbling about old stories, whispers of things that had once dwelled beneath the valley, things that should never have been disturbed. By nightfall, the first of the disappearances occurred. A young couple, Arlen and Mary, vanished without a trace. No one heard a struggle, no screams. They were simply gone, as if swallowed by the earth itself. Their house, untouched, lay quiet as the moon rose over the mountains. Fear spread through Hollowbrook like a sickness. People began to hoard their food, stockpile supplies and barricade their doors. Rumours began to circulate. Some said the earth was calling them, dragging them into its depths to feed whatever creature lay dormant beneath. Others said the sky was the real threat, that it would crack open and something would fall, something with tendrils and wings, something to wipe them all out. Amidst this chaos, trust began to erode. Neighbours turned on neighbours. Friends who had once shared a drink at the tavern now eyed each other with suspicion. At first, it was small things. Food went missing from pantries, tools disappeared from sheds, livestock were found slaughtered, their bodies torn open with unnatural force. Then came the accusations. A woman claimed her brother had stolen from her, though he swore he hadn't. Another man, Thomas, confronted his best friend with a gun, certain he had taken his provisions in the night. "You've got something hidden," Thomas yelled. "I've seen it in your eyes." The confrontation turned violent. The gunshot echoed through the empty streets, and Thomas's friend fell dead at his feet. As the paranoia spread, the town descended into madness. People locked their doors at night and whispered in shadows. Those who once worked together now watched each other with narrowed eyes, each fearing that the other might betray them. They began to kill over trivial things: food, blankets, water. Everyone feared they would be the next to vanish, to be taken by the thing under the earth. And all the while the creature, whatever it was, grew stronger. The tremors intensified. The air grew thick with an unnatural heat. The ground began to crack open in places, and the sky, once clear and blue, became streaked with a sickly yellow. There was no relief, no way to escape the growing sense of dread. It was on the fourth day after the first disappearances that the earth cracked open near the town square. The streets shook violently, and a deep, black chasm appeared in the earth. From it rose a shape that none could describe in any way that made sense, a writhing, shifting mass of tendrils and eyes, with a core that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of some ancient, unspeakable heartbeat. Those who had not already killed each other fled in panic, but it was too late. The creature's presence was overwhelming. It towered above the town, its form constantly changing, as though it were never meant to exist in this world. Its very being seemed to warp the air, distorting reality itself. The last moments of Hollowbrook were spent in chaos. Screams filled the air as buildings were torn apart, and the creature's tendrils lashed out, grabbing anyone foolish enough to come too close. The earth itself seemed to open up and swallow the remnants of the town. The streets ran red, and the ground grew slick with blood. A few survivors hid in the woods, but none escaped the creature's reach. As the last of the town burned, the creature let out a deafening roar that split the heavens. The stars above trembled, as if the night itself was alive. Then, without a word, the creature began to retreat back into the earth, its form shrinking and fading. The roar faded into the distance as it disappeared into the vastness of the cosmos. By the time the sun rose, there was nothing left of Hollowbrook. Only the remains of the dead scattered across the cracked earth, and the faint echo of something ancient that had been disturbed and then returned to its slumber. In the years that followed, the valley was forgotten. The forests reclaimed the land, and the whispers of Hollowbrook faded into myth. But sometimes, late at night, if you listen carefully, you can still hear the earth tremble. And if you're quiet enough, you might hear the faint call of something far older than humanity, something that waits patiently beneath the earth and beneath the stars.